Well, if you're hoping for a break from the heat, we don't have great news for you. We've still got a couple of days to wait, but then we've got some temps in the upper 60s overnight, even 80s for highs. Doesn't that sound absolutely stunning right now? But I have been thinking about how hot it has been overnight and how hard that is to sleep in.
Yeah.
Because it's not cooling down at any point.
It is hot out there. And if you thought yesterday was hot, man, do we have some good news for you. So let's look back on yesterday, though. It won't take long for those temperatures to climb quickly. By 10 a.m. yesterday, it was 91 degrees. Climbed to the triple digits by 1 o'clock, and we topped out at our record daily high of 102 degrees at 3:30. So we can expect something similar today. More of that is in store. And yeah, we even get that again tomorrow, Chris Bianchi. 102, but at the end of the day, like the difference between 100, 101, 102.
What do you feel at that point?
It's hot.
Yeah, it's really hot. I will say, too, we were just talking about that. I thought that was an important timeline that we just showed a second ago because my colleague, meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, and I were texting about this yesterday. It was at or above 100 degrees for about 5 to 6 hours yesterday.
We felt it, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't like, briefly blipped up to 100 for about 20, 30 minutes or something, and most of the day was mid to upper 90s. It was 100 plus for 5 to 6 hours yesterday, and we're likely looking at something very similar today. I would not be surprised if we get a degree or two higher today. Depends on just how much cloud cover we get this afternoon, but our forecast, once again, 102 for today. Daily record of 100. That was last set in 2003, and this would only be our 6th time on record with back-to-back days at or above 102 degrees for us here in Denver. So again, one of the things that will stand out about this heat wave, not necessarily the individual temperatures, though they are very hot, it is how long this is lasting for. Heat advisory, 10 a.m. today until 8 p.m. With those high temperatures, 100 to 104, those overnight lows in the upper 60s. Right now, we're in the upper 60s. 79 for us in Colorado Springs right now. That's due to some downsloping winds likely off the Palmer Divide out there. 74 for us in Springfield, 47 in Springfield. 102 today. Daily average high for today is 90. We are 12 degrees above that with that high of 102 for today. Those highs in the low 100s. And we've got some relief, though. We got to wait a couple days. I'll have details on when it finally cools on down coming up in my full forecast.
So much for that, Chris. Well, firefighters have been watching the Dinosaur Fire overnight in Boulder County to make sure that it's not flaring up. This started just before noon Friday, a few miles southwest of CU's campus. It has now burned about 3.5 acres, so it's not particularly big, but the smoke was noticeable for most of Boulder. No one was hurt and there are no current evacuations. But given the heat and the very dry conditions, people are understandably worried.
So I know from a public perspective, I lived here during the Marshall Fire. I know that there's a lot of fear in this community around wildfires. So I just want to say it's not necessarily the same kind of fire. So just to let everyone know that crews are up there at this time. They're saying just avoid the area and let them get their jobs done.
I'm glad they addressed it. That's kind of where everyone's head went when we first started hearing about this, so that was reassuring. Firefighters have closed trails nearby. They've also had to battle the fire and the scorching temps. We have asked firefighters for an update on the fire overnight. We're waiting to hear back.
So this type of weather is obviously rough on firefighters as they try to do their jobs with those triple-digit temperatures. They had a busy Friday from Boulder all the way down to Aurora. A 3-story apartment caught fire on Friday near Mississippi and Sable around 2:45. Damaged 23 units and displaced about 50 people. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Firefighters say they found flames shooting 10 feet high through the roof when they arrived. The heat makes it easier, of course, for things to catch fire, including siding and the roof, and that also makes it hotter for firefighters.
You see our fire crews wearing protective clothing. That's equivalent to wearing like a snow coat and snow pants, and then going outside in 100-degree weather, and then going outside in 100-degree weather doing heavy work inside of a building that's already caught fire. So you can imagine the stress that these guys are under.
Very hard job, and we thank them for all their work. One firefighter was treated for heat exhaustion. Crews also had plenty of snacks, water, and Gatorade with them to stay hydrated. Aurora Fire says they're not sure what started that fire just yet. Well, last night was the first weekend night for Denver police trying something new in downtown Denver in an effort to try and make things safer in the Ballpark and Lodo neighborhoods. The city is designating Uber and Lyft pickup spots in Lodo and Ballpark. Blake and Larimer will be closed from 18th to 21st Streets to Uber and Lyft drivers from 10 at night until 3 in the morning, right when everybody's going out to the bars. The city says officers will help with traffic flow and getting drivers and riders to those designated pickup spots. The city hopes this will cut down on crime in the area by cutting traffic congestion and dispersing crowds trying to get into the area.
Getting somewhere on RTD could take a bit longer. The agency has put new 10-mile-per-hour speed restrictions in place, similar to what we saw last month. The new slowdown covers the D line between Inglewood and Oxford, plus another one for the H and R lines along 225 from 25 to north of the 9-mile station. We asked RTD why they're doing this and have not heard back yet. The slowdowns last month were because of track damage. There are still 2 sections of track along I-25 that do have slowdowns. That is Colorado to Southmore and Orchard to County Line.
Colorado says 3 more people in the state may have the bird flu. The state is now still waiting for confirmation from the CDC. The state health department says all 3 are workers at a facility dealing with an outbreak of the virus. The state says they work in northeast Colorado but did not specify exactly where. Investigators suspect the workers had direct contact with infected poultry. The workers have mild symptoms, including pink eye and some respiratory issues. The state reported its first case in humans last week. So if those cases are confirmed by the CDC, Colorado would have more cases in humans than any other state. Though with just 4 cases, that number would still be very low. Earlier this week, Democratic Governor Gov Polis declared a disaster emergency over the avian flu.
Now, the governor has had a busy week. He was elected chair of the National Governors Association during its meeting in Salt Lake City. While there, he also met with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he spent time with one of Hollywood's biggest stars.
All right, all right, all right.
Well, that is Governor Polis hanging out with Utah's Republican Governor Spencer Cox and then Matthew McConaughey. Talked about their Disagree Better initiative. That's an effort for people on opposite sides of the aisle to have positive debate and find solutions. McConaughey also weighed in on the country's political polarization.
The extremes seem to be going further left and further right. Decency doesn't seem to be on the table. Rules of engagement seem like they need to be renegotiated. I think we're all right now caught up in short-term, short money wins. And so we come to the table and we argue and we call each other's names. And America sees a lot of us when we do that. This is entertainment. I'm in the entertainment business. Our leadership and leaders don't need to be in the entertainment business.
McConaughey also teased that he is considering a run for political office. He says he's on a learning tour and is not sure what that would look like.